Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. This time is of the NECA City Hunter from Predator 2, one of my favorite movies, which is both in good and bad for every which reason. But the City Hunter was super duper dope, and I was excited to get this figure. And I'm late to the party. This actually came out a while ago, and I've been missing out on a lot of the Predator stuff. But the NECA Ultimate stuff has been vital and important as of late to me, as it not only appeases to my childhood with the Predator movies, but also to the fact that as an adult, my appreciation for the Dark Horse comics. So City Hunter was a must-have, especially because the first two Predator movies are definitely in continuity with a lot of the comic book stuff. So I am a huge fan of that. Plus, City Hunter was super dope. I loved City Hunter. I feel like they should just redo his comic completely. It was just so much fun. But anyway, I love his design. I love everything that he's about. And I love that he kind of gives you the perfect blend of what you want in an ultimate NECA figure, but also just a cool sculpted and blended figure in general. And I have enjoyed the ultimate line. It's actually one of my favorite lines, and it's by far top notch, the best Predators that are out. Whether that's Monster Arts, Figma, NECA is killing it with the Predator stuff. So shout out to them. Anyway, City Hunter. I freaking love this design. The blend, the match of the tones, it just fit. It looks like it's straight out of the movie design-wise. The sculpting is amazing. You don't see too many breaks in the sculpt. So NECA does what McFarlane claims you can't do, and does it without the style of import. They do it their own way. So with the Predator stuff, I'm really feeling it, especially since they started adding the torso articulation. So as usual, the first thing, we're going to jump into articulation. And with the head, we actually have a pretty slightly different movement. As the locks here kind of get in the way, I folded mine under like a crazy person. So I should not do that. But you actually get a nice ball joint that actually rotates really well. Gets expressive and gets you into that that look that you want. He can't look all the way down, which is a bummer, but that's okay. You have the upper torso for that. You can look up pretty well. You can look left and right, as you've seen. And you can bend it to get some expression out of it, which is also one of my favorite things because hitting things at angles are a must for me. So as far as the arms go, you can actually go pretty high up, but not too far. You can actually rotate all the way around. And even with the shoulder armor, you can still go all the way through. Arms have a bicep swivel, and they are double jointed. I should have heated this up beforehand, but I was too excited. So let's try the other arm. There we go. So as you can see here, double jointed. There is a wrist gauntlet to rotate. And again, I should have heated it up because I really want to show off the full range of this guy and make sure I'm not popping anything. That's one thing I do recommend, is that you definitely heat up your joints on the NECA stuff because you don't want to pop it. The plastic is really strong and really resistant to movement so that it can hold the pose. And it's rough because if you break it, you might not get a replacement. They might run out and sell out. So hopefully they don't, hoping I don't break mine in general. But here we go with the ab crunch being really, really well done. It's not that deep, but it's one of those things where with the rotation and the extra articulation, it just goes a long way. The leg articulation is actually really nice. They're on these ball joints that actually have really nice articulation. There's thigh swivel, very easy thigh swivel as well. And the knees are double jointed, which kind of gives you that feel that you never really had with a Predator, where you can actually do stuff like showing him run or jump over things. See, just like this, I've already put him in a pose where it's like you don't really get to see them do this kind of stuff. Not in movies, but mostly in the comic book. So replicating that kind of stuff is a big deal to me. The foot has a very nice and generous pivot that actually will allow him to do a lot of cool stuff. So these are one of the things that I enjoy the most about the NECA Ultimate stuff. Now, if you excuse me one sec, I dropped this Combi Stick, so I'm going to pick that up. So, yeah. Anyway, now that we've gotten over the articulation, the detail and stuff, I want to go over the accessories that he comes with. Now, good catch me. He has his plasma caster, which is a little different than the usual plasma caster that you get. His is a lot smaller, and it's already built into his backpack. So it actually comes over the shoulder and rotates, and you can go left and right with it. Be careful not to break it. I would advise moving it at the pivot. As you can see here, it is actually a really small plasma caster, but it gets the job done. It's a heavy hitter, right? And then Then you have the wrist blades, which are all built. These are all built-in accessories I want to go over first, which extend out very far for when you want to get close and destroy your enemies. Whether it's a human you're hunting or an alien or anything else for that matter. Then you have the wrist gauntlet, which I've rotated. You can actually open this up to see the self-destruct mechanism should you need it, or the med vac or anything like that. Then also built in is the spear gun part of his weapon, which you actually are going to lift this up, remove this one piece, and you're going to part swap out the net gun part. I mean, sorry, not the net gun, the spear gun part. So this is for his spear gun right there that goes right under, as you can see. I'm going to take that off so I don't lose that. Rotate that back around so it looks cool. Then we're going to go over his other accessories, which is the Combi Stick, which is in his condensed form, which actually shrinks down and condenses. And then you get the form where it comes out and is fully extended. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but they've paid attention to the detail on each version to show you how it extends out. So it looks really good in both forms. Really, really nice. It's painted really, really well and sculpted really well as well. My previous one broke, so you have to be careful with the far ends. These do snap easily, so please be very careful. Next up, we have the net gun attachment, which attaches down at his bottom left leg. And there's a dedicated hand towards that. This actually stays in pretty well, but be careful of just knocking it out in general. Like a little bit of force will knock it out, but it actually can stay in very well on its own, as you can see here. And for the net gun, there is a dedicated hand. That's this one here. So to do that, what you do is, oh, sorry, is it the other way? Nope, it is this way, I believe. So yeah, you just put the net gun in. Voila, right? You can actually put it in this way too, but I prefer it this way. This is actually the proper fitting. I had to watch the movie again to double check. Next up, you do get an effect part for your plasma caster. So if you didn't get the extra accessories part, you have this one. It fits on just fine. It holds up really well as well. Voila. You can blow your enemies' heads off. Then you have the smart disc. Smart disc is one of the Predator's well-known weapons that we know of. This is actually used to kill him in the movie. Spoiler if you haven't seen it in the last 30, 40 years. So yes, and there is a dedicated hand for that as well. That is the left hand with the hinge, which I have not heated up, so I'm going to be careful with that instead, not mess with that. And what you're going to do is you're going to place it in pretty much designated spot for the hand. My pinky is having a little bit of issue. There it is. So as you can see, it fits on and holds very well. Really nice there. Then there's dedicated hand for holding the Combi Stick, as well as weapons, so you can put it inside this one finger. So if you have a trigger finger or a weapon that you want to fit that's NECA style, you can actually fit it in this hand as well. And last but not least, the last two things, you get the severed head of your enemies, as well as their spinal cords, which you take as trophies. The mouth does not open up, so keep that in mind. And then you get City Hunter's unmasked head, which looks phenomenal, which is really, really good. And again, I'm late to the party on the ultimate stuff, so it's one of those things where I'm glad I didn't have to pay the price on the aftermarket for it. I'm glad it got re-released, and I'm glad NECA's doing stuff like this. It makes me more excited for Wolf, one of my favorite Predators of all time, whether it's in the comics or the movies, because Wolf just did his thing. So next up, we're going to talk about sizes. So we're going to size them up with some NECA stuff as well as other lines. Show you guys, pretty much what the City Hunter, a.k.a. Ghost, what he's working with. So first and foremost, I'm going to line him up with Greyback, a.k.a. the Golden Angel. That's because in the past, Greyback was known as the Golden Angel, and he's pretty much his elder. So I want to put these two side by side and then show you how they look really good together, and how Golden Angel is a slight bit taller, and that's maybe because of his helmet or because I have the legs a little bit closer. But he's a little bit bigger, and I just like how they look together. So maybe I could do some team-up shots with them. Next up, we're going to go with the NECA Alien, the Ultimate Blue Warrior. And as you can see, standing straight up, he is even taller than the said City Hunter, a.k.a. Ghost, which will look good in a team-up. Next up, we have NECA's Ultimate Kenner Terminator. And I chose this so you can see what a NECA 7-inch scale human would look like with its Predator. And I think this actually works really well. So you can see NECA size-wise what aims at the... lost for words. You can see how they scale out. Next up, we're going to do various other lines, starting with Mythic Legions. So here's an orc. And it shows you just how much bigger the Predators are, even with Mythic Legions being a larger scale line. It's pretty crazy. Next up, a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. Someone's going to hunt in New York City. I guess Spider-Man would probably be the guy you'd go up against, right? He'd probably be one of the first people you catch, or scout. And they look really good together size-wise. It shows you just how much bigger he is, even with Legends in a 6-inch scale. Next up, we have my Mezco Punisher, which, again, he'd probably be the other guy. If you didn't run across Mike Kerrigan, you might come across. So, size-wise, he's even more gigantic than him. So, NECA Predator stuff is one of my favorites because they are so large. They just look really dope. And just for fun, let's put a cat in the background, right? Watching everything. Here we have an SHF, Kamen Rider Cougar, which would look minuscule next to Predator, right? And last but not least, we're going to do the Articulated Icons Ninja and the Synthetic Human. Because you never know what kind of timeline you're getting into with this stuff, right? Who knows? Maybe you can time travel and take ghosts out of the timeline, put them back. Right? In the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found it informative. Hope you enjoy the photos at the end. And as always, guys, be good, do good, drink your water. Later.